into the 22nd century. What comes to your mind when you hear that? Is it this? Or this? Maybe this. Probably not this. Some might even say it'd be like this. Here's our slightly more researched version of how the world would be. Computing power is expected to increase 1 billion times in the next 100 years. You don't need to carry your mobile phones and laptops around. Computing will follow you wherever you go. It'll touch whatever you do. And operating this technology would be easy as child's play. Anyone would be able to operate it. Our generation dreams of having robots do all the boring stuff for us. In the future, that won't be a dream, that'll be a reality. Machines will do our laundry, they'll clean our houses and whatnot. We've all been in a traffic jam, but in the future, there will be no traffic jam. Private transport would be replaced by fully automated, self-powering and smart public transport. These will include the magnetic SMT rail, and the Strading bus. These modes of transport, without disrupting existing transport infrastructure, would address the problems of traffic congestion. Advances in bioscience would not only be able to cure the diseases that we struggle with now, but also advances in genetic engineering will enable us to do the unthinkable. Imagine a world where you can pick your child's traits: hair color, eye color, height, build, intelligence, chances of diseases, memory, and even the number of clones. That's right, in the future there will be clones. Phew, I want some air now. Let's go to the farm. Oh, that's right, there are no farms in the future. Enter vertical farming. Vertical farming brings a host of technologies by putting food production on the buildings we live in and work in to reduce land use, cool our urban heat sinks, and drastically reduce food transport costs. Conventional farming now uses 70% of the available fresh water. Vertical farms will be fitted with narrow films that boost condensation and nanomembranes that would filter the water, bringing us safe and fresh water. Genetic engineering would select crops which are best suited to the environment. Fiber optics would provide light with extreme efficiency. 1 square kilometer of a vertical farm 30-story high would produce the same amount of food at 10 square kilometers outwards on ground. In the future, what we call social media today would actually be social life. You won't have to talk to anyone to know what they have to say or what they think. The whole reality will be augmented by information that people put up on social networks. So the future generation wouldn't need what we consider today real social interactions at all. A firm called Solar Wind Towers has come up with a solution. They propose building tall towers in the middle of the desert which would take up dry air from the atmosphere and then they would moisturize it. This air would become heavy and come down at speeds of nearly 50 miles an hour and then hit the turbines which would then generate electricity. A firm called Beacon Power has come up with an interesting solution. It was founded by California's grid surfer, which has a very radical solution to this problem. They have an airborne wind turbine attached to a rope. While wind energy is certainly an interesting option, there are far more interesting options out there too. If you think about it, all our energy is solar energy. The sun gets its energy from nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion of the sun happens at the high density gas furnaces where hydrogen is made to combine to form helium. Now, the energy made from a fusion reaction is 4 million times the energy we get from oil or coal burns. And the fuel that we need for nuclear fusion can be found in seawater, so we won't run out of it for millions of years. In the future, we hope that we could be able to build nuclear reactors which would be able to harness the energy of these reactions by stabilizing them. But all this has happened before. The advances we've made in the last 100 years are not less amazing than the ones we are going to make in the next 100 years. We have in our hands the technology that would be unfathomable 30 years ago, but still we've gotten used to it. The same would probably happen to the guys in the 22nd century. So probably it's not right to ask how advanced we would be in the 22nd century. The right questions we think are whether we'll have more time to ourselves and to our families, whether we would have more friends, whether the benefits of the advancements in biosciences and food will reach the people who need them the most, and whether we would use the power of the atom to make a more sustainable and environmentally friendly future, or to make weapons of mass destruction. We don't know the answers to these questions right now, but sometimes it's more important to ask the right questions than to find the answers.